interim director. Joining us now to discuss the Pearson resignation and what should happen next is the author of the book, The First Family Detail. Secret Service Agents Revealed the Hidden Lives of the Presidents. Author Ronald Kessler back with us now. Ron, we thank you for joining us again on America's Forum. When you were first here, you really sounded an alarm bell about systemic problems with the Secret Service. Number one on your list of what needs to be done, sir?
Well, bring in a new director from the outside who is not part of the culture of Secret Service management, which rewards agents who go along, don't report problems, don't report deficiencies, and punishes agents who do report problems and do point out deficiencies and even potential threats. And someone who is not beholden to interest within the agency. There have been all these ideas, put apart in the military and have all these strange appointments. It's really very simple. When any organization is in trouble, whether it's a corporation or an agency, you bring in someone from the outside to shake it up and change the culture. And that's what's needed here. Someone, for example, like Bob Mueller, who was FBI director, changed the direction of the agency to make it more prevention-oriented, would not put up with any cover-ups early on when he took over. A high-ranking FBI official tried to obscure problems that she knew about, and he just removed her. And that's what you need in this case.
Well, let's talk also about just where the Secret Service is seen on the organizational structure of our burgeoning bureaucracy. Should the Secret Service be moved directly under the Department of Homeland Security?
Well, it is in Department of Homeland Security. It was in Treasury, and it's true that these problems really started when it went into DHS in 2003. It became more political, it became more compliant, more spineless when it came to White House requests, to let people into events without magnetometer or metal detection screening, for example. That's in my book. It's a very common practice. It's unbelievable. It's like letting passengers into an airplane without metal detection screening. You could have 5 terrorists come in with grenades and take out the president. But logically, it does make sense that it remain in DHS. It's just so simple. You bring in someone who knows what he or she is doing, how to manage, demands honesty, and is accessible, does not cover up problems. That's what you need.
Ron, in giving us that answer, you outlined some possible threats to the president. The latest talk now concerns drones as a possible threat to presidential security. Do you agree that is an emerging threat?
Sure, that's absolutely an issue that has to be addressed. There are missile defense systems around the White House that should take out airplanes who stray into White House space. But, drones may be a different problem. The Secret Service, on top of everything else, has this attitude of we make do with less. They're actually proud to not spend money, to even ask for a decrease in budget. We all want to reduce our taxes, but in the case of the Secret Service, their budget is ridiculous compared to their duties. The total budget is about $1.5 billion a year. It's about the price of one stealth bomber. And besides protecting the president, vice president, and others, they also investigate counterfeiting and financial crimes. Julia Pearson actually asked for a reduction in the budget when the Secret Service was approached about upgrading its devices for detecting intruders at the White House and weapons of mass destruction with the latest technology. The answer from the Secret Service was, no, it costs too much. I mean, can you believe this? We're talking about really protecting democracy, because if you have an assassination, you nullify democracy. So everywhere you look in this agency, there are problems, except with the rank and file agents, who really are, for the most part, brave and dedicated. They're so upset about the management, and I can tell you that they're breathing a sigh of relief that Julia Pearson has been removed.
So the removal of Pearson is an instant morale boost. What else needs to happen? We got 2 minutes, Ron. Outline what other changes need to be made to the culture of the Secret Service.
A lot of top managers need to be removed. The White House security obviously has to be beefed up tremendously. I think the periphery should be expanded. You know, people have this myth that somehow they're going to have access to the president because they walk by the White House. That's ridiculous. You know, they can watch Obama on TV almost any day, but when they walk by the White House, they certainly don't have access to the president. And now we're talking about terrorists from ISIL who would love to take out the president. You could have 20 terrorists from ISIL converge on the White House with explosive devices. And that's something that absolutely needs to be done to expand the periphery.
Well, God forbid that there any type of attack like that. Before we go, 1 minute on Joseph Clancy as the interim director. What kind of background does he have?
Well, he's pretty much part of the old culture, you know, which is sort of punitive and suppresses dissent. Maybe he's learned something being in the private sector. I'll give him that. But the idea seems to be that they want to replace him by December with a permanent director, and that is the solution. They are talking about having this panel that's going to look into everything. Again, I don't see that. You need one good administrator who knows what he's doing or she's doing. You can't have a committee running the Secret Service. And again, it's just like any private corporation.
Understood. Ron Kessler, we will have to stop it right there. As always, we appreciate your insights into the Secret Service, and we thank you for your time. America's Forum continues following this Newsmax Now update.
Another U.S. patient is being treated in an isolation unit today after showing symptoms related to the Ebola virus, this time in Honolulu. Health officials in Hawaii confirmed they will be testing a man for the deadly virus. This comes just 1 day after another man tested positive for Ebola in Texas. A Florida man faces life in prison after being convicted of shooting and killing a teenager back in 2012. Michael Dunn opened fire into a car full of teenagers after an argument over loud music. In Virginia, police are now using drones in the search for missing UVA student Hannah Graham. The 18-year-old has been missing now for nearly 3 weeks. And things are looking better at VA hospitals across America. Facilities are spending millions on new furniture, flat-screen TVs, and solar panels. Unfortunately, there are still no sheets, pajamas, toothbrushes, or toothpaste for patients. I'm Olga Viaverdi. We'll have another update for you in about 30 minutes. See you then.